I'll be with you soon, guys. I'm just setting up. Due to start in 4 minutes. I'm just getting the setup right, as I've changed camera and a few things. So, Scouse Everton, we don't play today. Yeah, we don't play today. You're right. You're right. We play tomorrow. It does say in the thumbnail, pre-match review. 15th of the 1st, Everton versus Aston Villa. 15th of the 1st, 25, which is tomorrow. So yeah, I'll be with you guys in just a couple of minutes, just a few final things that I'm sorting out. I won't keep you 1 second, okay? Hey, Cam. Sorry, I'm just about to start a video at 5. Okay, sorry about that, everyone. Um, Almost like a Sean Dyche interview, that wasn't it? Press conference, turning up a little bit late. I'll start rubbing my face and everything whilst I'm at it in a minute. Yeah, so it's just I just wanted to start doing a little bit of a pre-match review. It's Aston Villa tomorrow night. I will be at the Aston Villa game at Goodison Park, so keep your eye out for a video that'll be coming your way of the Villa game. I'll try and get out to you tomorrow night after the game, maybe might be like 10:30 p.m. or something like that. So if not, it'll come out first thing Thursday morning, because by the time I get home from the match and get it all edited, yeah, I'll just get out to you as soon as I can. But if it's getting too late, it's not worth it, because you'll all probably be in bed. So everybody, what are we thinking? What are we thinking? Let's first talk about the biggest news, which can't be. So I'm trying to move out the way of the chat that's on the side. Let's Daniel, just looking at yours. Let's talk about first and foremost the big news of the week, which we covered. I think it was Friday night. We had a chat about the possibility of David Moyes taking over and getting back in charge of Everton, didn't we? We had a little chat about that before they released it, but we were all pretty certain that was coming our way. And I think the general thought and general consensus were that we were not too over the moon about it. But it's happened now, hasn't it? Has anybody watched the press conference and his interview yet? I've seen it, and I liked it, to be honest. I liked it, and once he's sat there and he's back in charge, and I've seen a couple of the live clips that they've shown of him taking training and seeing the lads. I liked in his interviews, as soon as he mentioned the likes of Leighton Baines and Seamus Coleman still being there, and when he's seen them again, what were his thoughts? And he just, as soon as they mentioned those names, he had like a smile on his face and said that he was proud of those guys, which is nice. And from from Friday night and me saying there, I think it's going backwards appointing David Moyes, which honestly, I, I don't change those thoughts at all. That's my honest thoughts. But now he's in. Now he's in charge. We've got to get behind him, haven't we? We've got no choice about that. And as Blues, I think that's what we'd always do, unless they made some absolute ridiculous appointment. Then anyone that they do decide to put in charge, like I say, as Blues, as Everton fans, we're always going to get totally behind who it was. I certainly will anyway, and I'm sure a lot of you will too. But it was nice to hear him talk. He did say that he had spoken to the new owners, both over on webcam and video calls, but also in person. He said they'd been over from America and he'd spoken to them in person. He mentioned the stadium and said that it is an absolute elite stadium, but it's going to need elite players. So he was pushed on whether or not he'd have some money to sign players and whether he'd be looking to do that in January. And although he didn't exactly say he will have money, he did say that if he'll be looking to do that, if anything's available, he'll certainly be looking to do that. He seems to understand the position we're in, and says that he wants to push the club forwards again and be part of the rebuilding process. So I think he understands it. The other thing as well, I'd mentioned Friday night that he was. I'll get to your comments soon, guys. He mentioned he was asked about his interview back in December, where he said something along the lines of he doesn't want to take over a relegation fight in club where he's scraping, he's feeding off scraps or something like that. And he was asked about that, and he said, well, yeah, he wasn't expecting up until like Tuesday last week. He wasn't expecting to be offered the job at Everton at all. He didn't even know the job was going. He thought Dyche was doing a relatively good job. But he said the thing is, when Everton approached him, it's a different beast, being offered the job from Everton because of his relationship. So, do you know what? Onwards and upwards, I think. I'm just going to go to some of your comments now. See if any of you have commented on that point before we look at the Aston Villa game tomorrow night. Big game tomorrow night. Every game's a big game for us Blues, isn't it? Every game is a big game, unfortunately for us. I'm also going to move those comments over there because I keep walking into them over that. I'll probably keep going the other side now, won't I? Drone Meister General is about to grace us with his presence. Yeah, Daniel, that's because I was it was like a big entrance, wasn't it? I just went to get some water. Mate, that's all it was. On that note, I'll have a swig. So let's have a look. Come you Villa boys, I'm glad you lot are getting things sorted. Proper club up the Villa, is that, Peter Moore? That's nice of you to say, mate. Thanks for watching. Appreciate that a lot. Ain't it lovely to have a manager that says we? Yeah, Sophie, it does. That's probably like. That's how I kind of felt, I did feel like with Moyes talking about it, he was talking about like moving forwards, and like you say, it was us and we, and being part of it, being part of the rebuild. I get your point with Dyche. With Dyche, I felt like there was so much apart from all this what he was doing, but there was so much of him just reminding us all the time of how the club was when he took over, and consistent reminders that the club's in a bad way. And it's everything from start to finish. It's not just the players, it's not just the manager, it's not just the coaching, this, that, the other. It was constant reminders every week. I stopped watching the Dyche press conferences. It got really boring. But I think the journalists are the big part of that as well, though, because they were just asking the same questions over and over again. But yeah, it is nice, Toffee, to hear somebody referring to it as we and as a club and as one in general. Yeah, says all the right things, Ash. night and day difference in the presser. It was Ash, yeah, and says all the right things, yeah. And I suppose you want to hear the right things from him, don't you? Especially now. The one thing I didn't particularly like, one thing that I picked up on, was one of the reporters. Was a female reporter, might have been Julia, but actually asked him about how we were going to play, what he's looking to bring about the playing style, and he didn't really answer it. I really picked up on that, because I think you're all hoping for him to just say, oh yeah, we're not going to play how Dyche was, we're not going to do that, don't worry about that, Dyche ball's out the window. But he didn't. Of course he's got to be a bit careful with that. His answer was, you can't really answer it. We'll see, but perhaps he'll know more in a couple of months, once he's had the players for a few months. You don't want to, he can watch videos of the players all season, and he's got to get to know them quickly, hasn't he? That was the only thing for me really there. When he was asked that question, my ears pricked up straight away, and I thought, oh, what's he going to say here? And he almost answered it, almost like a politician, as he didn't really answer it. But yeah, of course he's got to be careful that. Daniel said, just watch the behind the scenes clip on YouTube, and the more I'm seeing, the more it makes sense. Daniel, I was watching a little bit of that, before I went live. It only just popped up on my phone, and I was due to go live at 5, so I just watched a few minutes. It was all smiles, wasn't it? There was a lot of smiling and fun to be had at camp at Finch Farm, it looked like, so that's good. But I didn't really see it with Dyche there, so they could be like that every day for all I know. Big performance from Moyes and the boys tomorrow. And Anfield says, come on you Blues, goals and points for 2025 please. Okay, yes, so on that note, let's get on to the matter at hand, which is Aston Villa tomorrow. I don't want this to be a really long video as well, to be honest with you. Quick kind of pre-match review. So Aston Villa, we know Aston Villa are decent. They've had a little dip in form though, haven't they? Been doing really well, but dipped in form. They currently sit 8th in the league. However, we're obviously sitting down in 16th. So it's almost like two different, I don't want to say levels, but it's getting there, isn't it? Whereas they want to start fighting for their European place again, and we want to start fighting that the other end of the table and climbing up. Big thing for me is goals. I had a look. They've got a -2 goal difference at the moment in 8th. We've got a -15. Sorry, we've got a -10. We've scored 15 goals all season, conceded 25. They've scored 30, so they've scored double the amount of goals that we've scored. So their attack, you look at Ollie Watkins, 8 goals. I think Ollie Watkins has got 8 goals, 4 assists, something like that. But then below him, they've got Morgan Rogers, 6 goals. Leon Bailey has got a goal, and they've got a few others. Got like Onana, who popped up with a goal the other day. He's a pain, Onana, isn't he? I think he said something like he wants respect coming back to Goodison, which quick to jump ship. I was glad with the money we got for Onana though, so I don't think there's any too much hard feelings, to be honest, with Onana, but yeah, the point is there. They've got some goals in their team, but on saying they've scored 30 but conceded 32, so they also do leak goals really. So you get in behind them, might get one. On saying that, who's going to get in behind them? Tyrone Mings is back as well, and he's getting the games. I think he can be got at Tyrone Mings. Luca Dean, left back as well. If he plays, then you've got players there that you can get in and behind. But as I was just about to say, who's going to get in behind them? We know Brozier got injured last game, and Moyes said in his press conference, they're sending him for more scans and that because they keep getting like good news, bad news, good news, bad news. So it's like that with Broja. Calvert-Lewin, we don't know if he's currently on the injury list currently, but we're not sure if there's a chance he could play. Then you've got Chimiti as well. Chimiti, Broja, Calvert-Lewin out. So we've only got Beto to play up there, really. Will Beto get in and behind? He'll probably get in and behind more than Calvert-Lewin would, let's be totally honest. But is Beto the striker that can trouble them? He's got to be, hasn't he? Let's face it, he's just got to be. There's nobody else there. So expected lineups there. I mean, before I do that, they've got Ross Barkley on their injury list. They've got Barkley, Diego Carlos, Martinez, their keeper, who's a fantastic keeper, isn't he? I think he's won Keeper of the Year twice running now, something like that, hasn't he? So John McGinn also on the injury list, and John Duran as well as Pau Torres. But John Duran not injured. Sorry, John Duran is suspended because of his antics. I think it was at Newcastle. Was it Newcastle where they got beat 3-0? So they're missing a couple of players in Barkley, Duran and Martinez, mainly Diego Carlos. But big hitters like Ollie Watkins, Jacob Ramsey, Morgan Rogers, Leon Bailey, Tielemans, they all play, and Onana. They could all be on the team sheet. For us, we'd expect really the back four being the same: Pickford, Young, Mikalenko, Bramthwaite, Tarkovsky. The back, we'd expect them, Mangala, Garner in the middle, ahead of I'd like Lindstrom on the pitch ahead of Jack Harrison. I don't know what everybody's thoughts are there. It seems to be a toss-up between them two. My honest thoughts are I'd much rather have Lindstrom playing. I think Lindstrom just gives more. They attacking wise, they're relatively the same, but I think Lindstrom just gives you more with his tracking back, putting a foot in, chasing it down, just doing a bit more. And myself, I'd like to see Harrison Armstrong start ahead of Doucouré. I'd like to see him get a game. Again, be very, very interested for everybody else's thoughts on that. But I'd just like to see us going for something a bit different and putting him in. When I've watched him play, and when we've been watching it together on the watch-alongs or whatever, he's looked forwards all the time. He wants to turn and go at them, go at the opposition and go forwards, play forwards, passing, and that's what we need. We need that little bit of creativity and that positivity as well in going forwards to try and make things happen, I think. And then we've obviously got Beto up front and Ndai on the left, because we can't really go anywhere else with that unless he looked at playing Ndai up front. But that's not the way to go. I think you've got to play Beto. Just have a little look if anybody's making any comments there. Patrick said, I know he played for them a lot across the park, but would Danny Ings fix things up top? Lindstrom also, he wants to score too. Yeah, Lindstrom, that's what I was just saying, David, isn't it? Patrick, are you suggesting Danny Ings for us, mate? Sorry. Are you suggesting that we should go after Danny Ings? I've wanted us to get Danny Ings. I think he's had like quite a few injuries and that struggle for fitness a bit of late for West Ham. But for quite a bit I've said Danny Ings. Right, Danny Ings for me, when I've watched him, all he does is score, or all he did was score for quite a few seasons. Didn't really do anything else to his game, didn't bring too much else, but he scored goals. And I did say, just talking amongst like me and friends and that, I'd quite often said, why don't we just go after the likes of Danny Ings? He just gets in the box and gets you a goal. That's all he does, and we haven't got a player that does that. So I'd take your point there if that's what you're saying, Patrick. That is Danny Ings someone you could look at, age-wise and fitness-wise. The fact that we want to rebuild, as Moyes has said, I'm not sure if that is an option. I'd be very interested to see if there are any January transfer options out there. I've not seen too much at the moment. So I did see a link earlier. Not had a chance to read it yet. That we'd registered an interest in some young lad. But yeah, that's I haven't really had to look at that yet. But scoring options, getting options up front is definitely something we need to look at. Yeah, but I think as far as the game goes tomorrow, yes, it's going to be a tough game because, repeating myself once again, but every game for Everton this season in particular is a tough game. Even the game against Peterborough, it wasn't exactly easy. It was, we won, and hopefully you build on that because you can only play and beat who's in front of you. So you want to build on that win, and it's good to walk away from that, come out of that game with the win. You go through to the next round of the FA Cup, then you get a new manager. So we've got like the confidence and the boost of the win sided with the new manager. Hopefully new manager boost. Cold night at Goodison Park, Villa coming to us. Villa haven't been great lately, though. They also went through against West Ham in their FA Cup game. West Ham, though, put them under a lot of pressure. Especially like first half. West Ham were easily the better team. Lucas Paqueta scored a great goal. He had another few chances though as well. And West Ham did have numerous chances in that game. Excuse me. But Villa ultimately come back and got through, didn't they? They found a way and got through. So yeah, but it showed that you can get at them. Definitely showed that they can be got at, I think. And like I say, new manager, bounce at home off the back of a win ourselves. Just hope we can do something. I think we keep out Ollie Watkins, and our defence is good, but he is a great player. As I said, 8 goals, 4 assists, more than our entire team, unfortunately. But let's just hope we get a bounce and we get something that can put us into it. I'll be at the game tomorrow, as I've said. I'll be at Goodison Park. I'll get there a bit before. If anybody's going, try and have a chat with me before the game. I am in the park end, so I'll be underneath before the game, looking for anybody to have a chat with. I tend to go and try and have a little chat with people in and around the Dixie Dean statue, so try and grab me there. Eugene said, I think Beto will score for Everton against Villa tomorrow night at Goodison. I hope Beto will score for us tomorrow night against them. I really do. It would be great if we just see a slightly different style of play. I don't think any of us can expect it to just go boom all of a sudden. We're playing it out from the back. We're getting right up in between them and behind them and all that. I don't think we can expect that, but just give us something different. Moyes, give us something to cheer for, something to get positive about, because it's been hard going at Goodison, hasn't it, guys? Kieran said, will our defence be as good if we become more adventurous? The defence is just a defence, isn't it? And you've got to hope it stays that, because the adventurous side should hopefully come from being creative a bit further up the park. So the defence is the defence. But I get your point. The reason why we've kept some of those great results we had against Arsenal, Chelsea, City was the fact that they were defending as a unit. It was clear to see that was the setup, wasn't it? A real defensive-minded setup. So yeah, take your point, Kieran. Only time will tell, won't it? Kai saying, I hope we play well. To be honest, yeah, of course, Kai. I hope we play well. I hope it's not another tough watch. I really do. I hope the players have just got positivity behind them about getting forwards and trying things and a bit of creativity. And I think that's been lacking a lot lately. Peter said, Goodison under the light, it's going to be tough. Only club in Liverpool with an atmosphere unlike the myth that comes from across the park bench. It can have a great atmosphere, Goodison Park. You're right, Peter. It really can. We can create such a good atmosphere at Goodison. We've done it time and time again, year in, year out. And yeah, I think a bit more from the players, from the team, just breeds that response from the fans, then bounce off each other. So I hope so. Eugene says, what's your Everton starting lineup against Villa tomorrow night at Goodison? My Everton starting lineup, Eugene, will be, I'll stick Ashley Young. You know, it's Pickford in goal, obviously. Pickford in goal, sorry. I think I would stick Ashley Young right back just to start. I get the bit about his age and this, that, the other, but honestly, this season, I think he's been brilliant this season. It's just me being honest. If you'd have asked me last season that, I was calling out for Patterson to get started. I do still want to see Patterson keep moving towards getting starts in the team, and I'd like to see it at some point, but right now, honestly, I don't feel like Ashley Young's done anything to not start, so I'd go Pickford in goal, Ashley Young right back, Branthwaite and Tarkowski in the middle, Mikalenko left back. That's my back four. Then I would be playing, because of players injured, I can't wait for James Garner to get back, to be honest, but I would like to play Mangala and Garner then in front of the four. Then I'd have Lindstrom on the right, Harrison Armstrong the centre with Ndai left and Beto up front. If all of our strikers were fit, I'd have Calvert-Lewin up front. Brozier, for me, just hasn't done it. And though I know he injured himself quite bad the other day, but a couple of the other times he's come off with injury, he's looked a bit dodgy to me, to be honest with you. Especially the one when he come off holding his lower back against Bournemouth. It was just like, what's going on there? Kieran said, I think Patterson will nail the right back position for the next few games. Young at left back, maybe. Young at left back. Ashley Young can play pretty much anywhere his manager asks him to play because of his experience. But for me, I think I'd stick. The one thing I have liked of late recent games is Ndai tracking back for Mikalenko. Mikalenko's got forward quite a bit lately and left himself exposed a little bit, because before that start of the season, I felt like Ndai, as great as he is and magic as he is attacking, I felt like he was leaving Mikalenko a bit exposed and not tracking back. I feel like it was definitely looked like somebody had a word with him, because for the past 7-8 games he's been tracking back brilliantly. As soon as the opposition get the ball, Ndai's been tracking back very well. But then you've seen Mikalenko almost leave himself out of position a couple of times lately. I wouldn't be adverse to saying to going with that, Kieran. It'd be very interesting to see what David Moyes does, won't it? It'd be very, very interesting to see what he does. But for me, I think it will be pretty much the usual starting 11. But I'd just like to see Harrison Armstrong in there because of the way he's looked forwards every time he seems to have the ball. There's no turning around, playing it back, playing it sideways. He's always gone forwards, and that's what I like to see, and that's what we need. I think, like, we keep, well, not we, but some people keep getting on like the strikers' backs, especially Calvert-Lewin, for not doing enough, not getting enough goals. But for me, it's the creative side of it. It's getting them in those positions, which is where we're struggling. So for me, I feel like we need somebody to be helping create things. I think Harrison Armstrong can be a kid that can do that for us. Yes, mate, Danny Ings for us, as you're saying, Patrick. Yeah, Danny Ings for us. I get it. He is slow and old, and we need pace in the team. But I feel It's like we need a clinical goal scorer in the team. Like I said, for a long time, I've said about Danny Ings that all he does is score. He doesn't seem to do anything else. But he has struggled with fitness. That would be my only gripe there, Patrick, is that if we went and got him, if we were looking at another loan, a striker loan, and we were going to send Brozier back to Chelsea, and we could get Danny Ings in, that's a no-brainer for me. That's a no-brainer. If that was an option, Patrick, I'd go for that. Coleman right back. Baines left back, please. Terry, how good would that be? While we're at it, can we get Pienaar back to play ahead of Baines? Be great, wouldn't it? And Dice slots into the number 10. I also want to see Lindstrom given some minutes in the attacking mid area. That's where he made his name. We need a new right wing altogether. Yeah. Dice seem to be, and again, this is why it's going to be really interesting to see what Moyes done and what his own assessment is of the players. He'll have to work with them for a bit and probably look at where they played previously. But Sean Dyche seemed just really, really reluctant to give anyone a go in that attacking mid, that number 10 role, didn't he? He just seemed really reluctant for it. So yeah, it's going to be the next couple of weeks. I don't think we'll see massive changes tomorrow. I honestly don't, because I think that might be a little too risky for David Moyes to do. But the next couple of weeks will be interesting. We've of course got Spurs at home. It's 2 home games back to back. We've got Aston Villa tomorrow night and then Spurs on Sunday. So it's going to be really interesting to see what he does with those 2 home games. In fact, 3 home games really, wasn't it? Peterborough, Villa, Spurs. The Spurs game I will struggle to get to because my daughter has a gymnastics competition and national finals. But looking at the timings, that's meant to finish at about 11:45 and it's only in Warrington. So there's a very, very good chance I will make the Spurs game, which is really, my wife only told me this today about the timings. So I'm really excited that I'll probably get to the Spurs game too. Let's have a look. Terry Dactyl says neither Beto or DCL are not natural finishers. That's a problem. Yeah, they're not, are they? They're not. Beto's a funny one for me. Funny like player to watch. Can you remember his first game? Was it like, who was he played against? Was it like Colchester or something like that? I don't think it was. It was somebody else. But he come on and looked like a world beater when he come on. He clattered one. He hit one really wide, then clattered one off the post or something like that, and then scored 2, I think it was. And he looked unplayable when he come on against that team, and I think we were all like, wow, who is this? And then the more you see him on the pitch, he tries. I cannot take anything away from him for his effort whenever he gets on the pitch. And again, as an Everton fan, that's what we expect. That's what you want to see. But I don't think he's a natural finisher either. Terry, I'm with you on that. Terry Nash has said, want Richie on loan? If we send Brozier back, Moyes would love him. How good would that be, Terry? Is he still injured, Richarlison, though? Is he still injured? The last thing we want to do is go out and pick up, like Dyche got him Brozier injured for 4 months, didn't he? I thought that was a mad one for the position we were in, I think he can be a good player, Brozier, but I thought it was mad to pick him, to pick an injured player to come in for 4 months, considering the position we were in. And I don't think we want that again. Is Richarlison injured though? Let me have a look. Best thing I can do now is look on my phone, because I have been using my phone as a camera, but not at the moment because I got myself a new camera. Where are Tottenham? There they are. Let's check out Tottenham. They're playing tomorrow too. No, he is not on the injury list. He's not on the expected lineup either. But he's not on the injury list, Richarlison. So that's just stop getting played. That'd be a great one, wouldn't it? How good would that be, Terry? Doncaster. That was who we played, wasn't it? Doncaster, yeah. Colchester, I said. Doncaster it was, Terry. Definitely, yeah. Remember that game? I was watching it. He come on and just looked unplayable. But then Broja's got kicking the turf down to a fine art. It was a bad one, Terry, wasn't it? Beto has a small head like the headhunter in Beetlejuice. I mean, let's not get too personal, like. The headhunter. Is his name Bob in Beetlejuice? Is that him? Bob. It's a funny comment. Like, I don't really want to get personal about lads, but that's a funny comment. In the cup, he looked lively. That was an occasion when raw talent sometimes succeeds. I didn't know if in the cup I don't know if he found his level. If I'm just totally honest about you, I think that might honestly be his level. You like his clumsy enthusiasm. That's what I like. That's what I say, David B. Is clumsy enthusiasm. That's such a good way to put it. As I said, we can't deny his effort when he gets on the pitch. But it is clumsy all the same, isn't it? It is clumsy effort. Totally get that. That's a great way to describe it. Matthew Booth. Matthew, thanks for joining again. Beto bossed Tranmere pre-season. Hat-trick, I think. Again, is level. Maybe, is it? Beto reminds me of our other underrated striker, Prince Niasse. Umar Niasse. Do you know what I heard about Niasse? We're going off topic. This is meant to be the preview of the Villa game. We're going a little bit off topic here, but it's what live videos are all about. It's almost like a live therapy session for Blues. I've said that before recently. A bit of therapy for us to just get on and have a chat. But Umar Niasse, I heard a story about him. I don't know if this is true. Maybe one of you might be able to confirm this. But I heard that I'm sure it was Niasse. Sure it was. I heard that he was during his last season at Everton. We couldn't get rid of him, but we didn't want him that much that he didn't even have a locker. So when he was going in to train, he was having to put his bag and all that on the floor because he didn't have a locker. That's just what I heard. I'm sure that was a story about Niasse. But yeah, will be interesting seeing how Moyes sets us up tomorrow, says Carl. Carl, it will. Yeah, we were just saying that and all. I was saying personally, I think the setup will be relatively the same because I think he might come in setup wise might be the same. Doesn't mean they have to play the same. It really doesn't mean they have to play the same. I'd like to see them trying to play football and not just get it, lump it. Up to Beto, who's got no one to head on to. If they do want to play the hoofball stroke dice ball, at least try and give somebody direction and a bit of coaching to run onto the balls, because playing that ball with nobody running onto it is torturous alone, isn't it? Playing it with nobody to run onto it is just awful. Oh, it's so horrible to watch. But it will be very interesting to see what Moyes looks to do. I'd just like to see him give us a little bit of a different direction. Kevin, peeing yourself, mate. Is that over the Umar and the ass story? Somebody has to clarify that for me. I'll look at the comments now to see if anybody does. But I heard that he had to just go in and dump his bag on the floor because he just didn't have a locker or nothing. Sure, it might have been Chink Tosin, but I don't think it was Tosin. I think it was in the ass. Sure it was. Kieran says Villa haven't won away since mid-October. Had a snoop around some Villa forums yesterday, and they're not happy with how they're playing. We can do them. So I watched the West Ham game. Newcastle, they were awful against Newcastle, weren't they? Got beat 3-0. And Brighton 2-2. They beat Leicester. I think that was at home against Leicester, and they should beat them. I think it was, and they beat West Ham the other day. But honestly, the West Ham game, they were not good at all in that first half against West Ham. I'm telling you, it looked like West Ham. I know West Ham had the Graham Potter bounce as well, but it looked like West Ham could have had a couple in the first half against them. Really did. We can do him. We can. Of course, we can do him. We can do anyone on our day. It's just not very often our day at the moment, is it? But we just got to hope for better now. Dixon should be our starting right back. Armstrong instead of Decore, and no DCL. Beto starts. Gavin, I think. Do you watch the on the 21s a bit? Do you, Gavin? You seem to know quite a lot. I'm sure you've commented this before. I will give you one thing though, because I'm sure it was you in one of my one of my first live watch-alongs. Might have been Southampton or something like that, or maybe the West Ham game. You were calling for this Harrison Armstrong to come in, and you've not been wrong, mate. When he did come in, I think he looks good. And I've also said in my starting lineup tomorrow, I would like to see him ahead of Decore. I really would, because he's a positive player, looks forward. I'll go with you on that. Good evening, Mr. D. Good evening, Dom. Beto is Bambi on ice. At DCL is Todd Carty on ice. Beto's getting a bit of stick, but if he starts tomorrow, of course we'll be supporting him. If Brozier stays, we will need to employ even more groundsmen. Yeah. He's just lumps in the turf everywhere. Poor lad, done it once. He just gets pure stick. It was daft though, wasn't it? Daft thing to do to injure himself in that as well. Quite a bad one as well. Quite a bad injury off it. Although David Moyes did say before he's being assessed, because he keeps getting conflicting info whether it's bad or it's not. So he's looking to find out whether it is. If it is bad news on his injury, I expect we'll send Brozier back. I really do. You can't keep him, can you? Miko, Decore, Harrison, Garner, DCL should be nowhere near the team. Nah, I just don't agree with you on Garner. Garner, and to be honest, Mikolenko, I don't mind him personally. I feel like Mikolenko's a lad that puts everything into it as well. He does have his moments, but he tries to get us forward as well. I kind of like Mikolenko. I know loads of Blues don't. I kind of do. If I'm honest. So DCL, I feel sorry for. Refer back to the West Ham game. He should have definitely done better in the West Ham game. And Wolves, he should have scored a couple against Wolves as well. I mean, we got the goals through own goals, didn't we? But I think I feel like he should have got the goals. But I will say Harrison should be nowhere near the team. Decore needs to book his ideas up. Spontaneous Beto. Bambi on ice is funny. Kieran, that's true. And do you know what I heard about Nias? He's bought the Bramley-Moore naming rights. Stadium's going to be called Nias's Locker. Nias was a better finisher than DCL. Probably was, yeah. Hibbert is a better finisher than DCL. Remember all that? If Hibbert scores, we riot and all that. Hibbert, it's funny. We had him I've got a mate. Don't know if he'll be watching it right now. I've got a mate. We'll give you his full name, but we call him Bridgie. Great lad. Known him since we were kids. He is the spit of Tony Hibbert. We often call him Hibbo. Funny we'll be more positive. Roy says we will be more positive attack as a unit, not just hoof it up to the number 9. I think we will. I think we have to be. Roy, don't we? I think we have to be. I don't think if it starts the same way as it has been, I don't think there'll be any we'll take any prisoners like the Goodison crowd. I really don't. I think Moyes will be under the cosh straight away if he just does the same. If you do the same, why change it? Why change anything? So surely the owners may have had a chat with him about that. Obviously, Moyes is the manager and the coach in charge. But surely to God, there's been conversations about, like, look, it can't carry on like that. Because if it was going to, why change it? Celtic Faith said this must be about the ass. It is true, but he hung around, and when called on, he played and scored goals for us. Yeah, I don't deny him that, Celtic. I don't deny him that. I just think it's a mad story about, like, a Premier League footballer. No locker for you, son. I think Moyes should get Dennis Strakolarski back. Morales. Pienaar left, Morales right. Fucking get Yakubu back. I think we still don't know his real age, do we? That's another one, isn't it? There was Yakubu with his age, because I think who was it? I'm sure it was Yakubu, wasn't it? Because there was a lad from Chelsea who was like 5 years older or something, and when he first come in, he was a lad from Chelsea who said, "There's no way he's like 22. He was in my class in school or something like that." I'm like 27. I hope Moyes sees through the Bezzy mate fraud player click. I don't think he'll have any there. I mean, obviously he knows Coleman, but other than that, nobody else is there. Like, to be his Bezzy mate, are they? Yeah, Gavin, I don't want to see any of that where it's just play. You need to play the people who look good in training, who look ready for it in training. The ones that look up for it, nothing else should matter. Nothing else should matter. Rumour is Tosin's toupee is in the lost and found. Goodison allegedly. I tried Dixon on the wing with his pace, like we did with Coleman back in the day. His throwing can help us. I'm not seeing much of him, to be totally honest with you, but a few of you are saying his name. I need to have a little look, which is my task for tonight. When I go home, I have a little look at some videos. I'm going to finish up here in a minute and finish on what do we think for tomorrow. Nias didn't have a look at whom had some other weird ideas. The senior players complained about him. Been a good laugh in this afternoon. Good, Kevin. Good. Feed the yak. Feed the yak and he will score. Saying that, the yak just for here on this. When I was at the game recently, I done me live vlog at the game, and I showed a bit of the half time. The half time entertainment was penalty shootouts. It wasn't penalties. It was just one-on-ones, and Tony Bellew was in goal, and there was the yak, and I can't remember who it was, who the other one was, the other player wasn't ex-Everton, it was somebody else, but it was the yak was doing one-on-ones against Tony Bellew, and he was crap. He was big. He was a big player, like big fella. He wasn't that good at all. So Royston Drenfey is coming back. Pool attendant at BMD. Big dunk to come back. Van der Meijden used to play with a drink in his hand. DCL will score more goals if he starts getting better service and a bit of confidence. Look at him under Ancelotti. Rob, that's my point exactly about DCL. That is my point. We know it's in there. I just think a little bit of confidence, little bit of service, and who knows? Let's hope he gets it, and let's hope we can get the DCL back that we all know can perform and can get goals. And I'm going to finish off here, guys. Come on, Villa, do one family game, and come on, you Blues. Will Moyes get to spend the Arteta money? Oh man. Celtic Vape, this is how we want to finish. Let's finish on some predictions. I want to see a start quite quick. It looked like West Ham. It looked like Potter had West Ham starting quite quick, and getting at Villa the other day in the cup. And I want to see us start like that. West Ham had quite a few early shots, quite a few early chances, and they managed to get one through Paqueta. It was a great finish, to be fair. But I'd like to see us just starting quick, put Villa on the back foot, give the Goodison fans a lot to cheer about and get excited about, and we'll create things together, fans and players alike. Let's get a goal in the first half. Let's get better on the score sheet, or die, or even Lindstrom, or anyone really. But let's get one of the attacking players on the score sheet, get at them, and let's see if we can build from there. We know we can defend. We know we can. We definitely know we can defend. And let's not make any mistakes. Massive for us. Do you know what the biggest match recently for me was that game against United at Old Trafford. My God, that game could have gone either way. We lost 4-0, but the score really flattered them because it was 4 mistakes. 4 bad mistakes. Branthwaite for 2 of them, honestly. Like, I think Mikalenko for 1. But it was definitely 4 mistakes. And it killed us. It killed me. That really did. And then I think I've seen a couple of those mistakes in the other games. We made a few against Wolves, you know. We were just lucky that Wolves couldn't capitalise on the mistakes that we made. So I think we cut out mistakes, and we have done recently as well. We made one against like Fulham. Bad mistake when Iwobi scored. We managed to get that back very late on through Beto. But Fulham was a mistake. Who else was I going to say last week? Forest to give them the mistake at the back to let them go 2-0 up. That was a bad one. So Bournemouth as well, to be honest. Bournemouth, I think Branthwaite could have got his head in. So if we cut down on these mistakes, we get at Villa early, put them under loads of pressure, try and get in behind them. I honestly think we can do it. I honestly do. I think we can do it. Follow the Jelavic road. Nikolai Jelavic. We have had some players like, haven't we? Ollie Watkins. Family. I hope we beat us, mate. I hope we beat us. Of course I do. And I hope we keep Ollie Watkins out the game. Everton 2-1, Roy. Going for a 2-1. I'm actually going to go for 2-1. Somebody else, Stephen Byrne, has gone 2-1 as well. Nigel's just said Everton win tomorrow. Stephen Byrne's Everton 2-1. Honestly, Everton 2, Aston Villa 1. Blue Sky as well. That's like, I was going to go 2-1, so that's 4 of us. No, one after the other, 2-1. Nigel, we know you're a red, Nigel. You don't have to put, you never walk alone in there. At least you're going for an Everton win tomorrow, though. Liverpool v Nottingham Forest going to be a tough game. Family, you're not a Villa fan. You're actually a red, are you? Go home, Nigel. So that's not me. That's Carl that says that. Anyone's welcome to watch, but if you're gonna support the other team, keep it to yourselves. Nah, whatever. Say whatever you want. It's a forum open for everybody. Although much prefer positive Everton posts. I predict the first goal scorer will be someone unusual who you wouldn't expect is a forward. When you say, do you mean like someone unusual? Do you mean like Harrison Armstrong, Lindstrom, or are you going for someone like Branthwaite or Tarkovsky or someone like that? Nigel. Either way, we're gonna. I'm gonna finish off, guys. It's been a fantastic little chat. This is my first match preview. What I'll do, I'll try and get match previews out the day before, or if it's a weekend game, maybe the Friday. We'll do the pre-match review. So Tottenham game this Sunday, we'll do pre-match review on the Friday evening. Okay. But guys, I'm gonna go 2-1. I'm gonna go for Beto and Ndai. Let's get the goals for us. Everton to be 2-0 up, and I think Villa will get one back second half, and then Everton will defend it out. But whatever, whatever it is, just come on, you Blues. Going 2-1. I'll be at the game tomorrow. If you're there, catch me there. Love to have a chat with people before the game. If we can get your thoughts and everything live on camera, makes the content better. And then, yeah, I'll get my video up of the live vlog either later tonight or first thing Thursday morning. Guys, thank you very much for watching. Come on, you Blues, up the toffees. 2-1 tomorrow night. Come on, you Blues.